Recently, there has been a lot of increased evidence piling up in regards to a fourth stimulus check, as well as additional information pointing toward a fourth stimulus check specifically focused on all of those beneficiaries. So in this video, I want to talk you through all those details and let you know where we currently stand and why they may be forced to issue a highly focused stimulus check for fixed income beneficiaries. Let's get right into it. Alright, number one, obviously, the inflation situation is out of control. We've got the Federal Reserve, who's coming out raising interest rates, the president who continues to point the finger at everybody else, and then a bunch of other people that basically don't know what's going on here as far as what to do with all of this inflation. The fact of the matter is that inflation is very hot right now, and it seems like they are not doing a whole lot about it. And therefore, it is really depleting the savings and the income of anybody out there. Whether it is somebody out there earning whatever it happens to be an amount of money or fixed income beneficiaries, this inflation is absolutely nuts right now. Next, we are basically in a recession. Now and again, there are a lot of people out there saying, "Oh no, we are not in a recession yet." Well, you are right, technically it has not been reported yet, but as soon as the next GDP number comes out here in the next few weeks, we will be getting that information. And it will be confirming that, yes, we are for sure. A recession right now is not at a good situation, meaning contracting growth here in the United States in the output as far as what's going on. Therefore, that's technically a recession with 2 quarters in a row. Well, we will be getting the next report here in the next few weeks, and we should be getting that information to let us know where we are currently sitting. Next, gas prices are on an absolute tear. I mean, seriously, it's almost every single day gas prices continue to go up and up. And now, they are even possibly pushing out this protection of $6 per gas by the end of summer. Yeah, it's probably going to be more like by the end of this month, right? So anyway, there are a lot of projections out there saying $6 won't be the end of it. So this is a major problem going forward. Basically, we are watching this economic collapse right before our eyes. It's a slow process. It started out at the top of the mountain, kind of rolling slowly, but this thing is about to avalanche here, and it's not a good signal. So a couple of other things that are also mentioned out there as well. I've come across this a couple of times, but it's citing back to May of 2009, and this is something that did happen about 13 years ago. Guess what happened? They issued a $250 focused stimulus check for fixed income beneficiaries of all the benefits, Social Security, SSDI retirement, survivors, SSI, VA, or RB. There was a highly focused $250 check that went out in May of 2009. Now, all the same things that happened back then, pretty much the exact same situation, we were watching the economy basically collapse right before our eyes. Well, technically, by the time those checks actually went out in May of 2009, the stock market was already rebounding, things were kind of looking up a little bit at that point, but we were just coming out of the deepest, darkest days of the recession from 2008 into early 2009, when things actually bottomed out in early 2009 in about March time. So we are kind of looking at the whole thing. Once again, we are like literally looking into a mirror of what we experienced about 13 years ago. It's probably not going to be all that extreme here in the United States, but there are food shortages all around the globe, and we are likely going to continue to see even more food shortages here in the US. Have you gone to your store lately and looked around and said, that's weird, this item is off the shelf and it's been gone for a very long time? Lately, there has been a lot more of that coming up here, where random weird items on your store shelves in your grocery store are just not available. They haven't been for a long time, and they probably won't be for a very long time as well. So it's also something that is going on right now that we need to pay attention to. Next, groceries prices continue to go significantly higher. And according to what the analysts and experts are now saying as well, we are likely going to continue to see groceries prices moving up much more dramatically. Therefore, all of this is pointing toward the evidence once again piling up more and more every single day for why the fixed income needs ongoing checks or even just a one-time check. Now again, back in 2009, a $250 check adjusted for inflation will probably be more around like a $1,000 check these days, just because of inflation and inflation adjusted. $250 back then, probably what is fine. $250 13 years ago could have gotten people quite a bit of stuff these days. $250, it's almost like a joke, right? So as we continue to look at all the evidence every single day that continues to pile up here, it continues to point toward ongoing checks, monthly checks, and or one-time highly focused checks. Now again, the other argument out there right now is saying, well, wait, what about inflation? This is going to cause even more inflation? No, because here is why. The check would only be going out to a small percentage of the population here in the United States, maybe 20% of the population, probably not more like 18% of the population. So it's not going to be like 85% of the population that we saw get all the checks over the last 2 years here. So sending out a highly focused check, whether it's $800, $500, $1,000, $1,400 would not cause all that much inflation. I mean, realistically, won't even cost that much. Here's the thing, the reports have shown that all of the 3 checks that we've already received over the last 2 years have caused 3% of the inflation that we are currently experiencing right now. And those checks went off to 85% of the population. So you can kind of see here, if we send our check that's highly focused to say 18%, maybe 20% of the population, is that going to cause inflation? Probably not, right? Let's just be real here, it's probably not going to cause much inflation because it's highly focused on such a small percentage of our population versus 85%. Now, another point that I wanted to throw out there as well, the 3 checks that were sent out over the last 2 years have prevented 11 million people from falling into poverty. Well, guess what? If they don't send out another check and if they don't do it fast here, we're gonna be looking at millions of people falling into poverty because of the situation that's going on right now. Could that look good for people in Congress and the administration? Could that look good for them right now if all of a sudden we flip a switch and 11 million people fall into poverty? No, that's not gonna look good at all. It's not gonna look good for anybody. Not only the people that fall into poverty, but all the people in Congress and everybody else who allowed this to happen. So you can kind of see here that the house of cards is collapsing right before our eyes, and we need to see how they're going to play ball on this thing. My point is that time is of the essence right here, right now, and based on everything that we are currently seeing right now, the evidence continues to pile up in a really big way for a highly focused check for those individuals who are living on a fixed income. Prices are literally getting away from everybody right now, even higher income people. In fact, what was it, maybe a month ago and a half or so ago, and those individuals who are living on a fixed income are unfortunately being impacted the most. The fixed income is staying the same. Income is not changing, right? And therefore, prices are changing at a pace of about 1% per month every single month that goes by. So you can see how this equation is not working, right? Anyway, an infusion of cash is what the fixed income needs right now, and it is what all the evidence is pointing toward. So anyway, I'll keep you posted as we get more details on all this stuff.